Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to start off giving all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to our power, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, a great millstone, who will teach you on sound doctrine. Strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men, women, and children of the Lord have mercy on these last days. It's your brother Kadash, representing GMS branch here in Cleveland. Lord willing to bring out a quick and edifying lesson. All right, the title of this lesson is Warrior Mentality, Caleb Plant, which was a boxer. All right, it says Caleb Plant says no sex before his fights. All right, so I have pulled up, I have this clip pulled up that I was watching of an interview from Caleb Plant. Now, Caleb Plant is a boxer, all right, who has a good record. You know what I'm saying? I haven't personally watched none of his fight, but I know of him, and he is a good fighter. Which his record shows he's like 22-1. I think he got one loss, and like half of those wins are by KOs. So he's a good fighter. I don't know. I think he got a fight coming up. I could be wrong. But I'm gonna show you this clip from him real quick. All right. So I believe I said double honor to our apostle. It was a great millstone. We will teach you on sound doctrine. You know, it's repetitive, so sometimes I slip your mind if you actually said it. But so here you are, Shots Podcast Network. All right. And it was a clip from an interview from Caleb Plant. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it in with the subtitles on. I'm not gonna play it with the actual sound, all right? So because I don't want to. This is by the way, this is used for educational purposes. I don't want to get striked. All right, so let me play this. It says like building up sex and all that stuff. So yeah, so he's asking him about basically a situation in one of his fights against Canelo, and he was trying to add up the time frame because he had a child. He was just asking him about do he get down with the get down before his fights. And Caleb, this is about to go into his response. Let's see what he say. Just read the subtitles. It says asking that for 8 weeks. Okay, 8 weeks I'm abstinent. All right. So he's saying that all right, he goes for 8 weeks of him with no sex. Okay. Now he's gonna make mention that I'll probably just leave it here. But he's gonna make later on in this interview, he makes mention of uh fighters do different time frames, all right, like 4 weeks, 6 weeks. He said he had made mention that he just does 8 weeks. He don't know if every boxer does 8 weeks, but he said that's something he do, which that's why I titled this warrior mentality. And you're gonna find it's a comment in here. You know how Jake is. Sometimes we read these comments. Majority of the times, that's where I got the inspiration from. This Reen Garcia, he typed in warrior mentality. That's where the inspiration came from this video and that comment. Because as I'm listening to this, I'm like, yeah, of course, that's a warrior's mentality. Because the things that he was saying in this, man. Let's see. The guy asked him, oh yeah, he also asked him not even for himself, like you know what I'm saying, like masturbation. The guy said, and that's why you see on the screen it says I'm abstinent. And he said in no way, shape, or form have he ever made a mistake on any of that from his pro debut of when he. So basically, the point is that when he's locked in, everything else becomes like it's non-existent. It don't exist. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we gotta be in this truth. Like this truth is it's the fight. You know what I'm saying? It's the you know, we're fighting for this truth, for truth's sake. And everything else has to be obsolete. right? We have to have the Caleb. We have to have Yahawah's mindset first and foremost. But on a carnal level, we have to think like this boxer here. All right, as he said, in no way, shape, or form have he made a mistake. All right, even going back to his pro debut. Okay, we have to have a warrior's mindset, like the individuals in the military. They have a warrior's mindset because, which is why the generals in the army have make the people in the army when they're going to war, they or training or whatever, they make them be distant from their family for periods of time, man. You see what I'm saying? And now in this new millennium, you have it where you do have women inside the army, so it's not necessarily a thing where these guys is more, because it's showing you that Esau's military has gotten weaker because he has a lot of women inside of his military, which now you're not depriving a man of intercourse because he could just take it from one of his women sergeants, or a woman, one of his women companions on the ship, whether you're in the Navy or whatever. He could just get it from one of them. Which you see them cases all the time. You know what I'm saying? About women going missing, women being, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to keep it PG for the sake of the video, but as much as I can. But we see these things. So and over time, the men, his army military has got weaker too, mentally. Okay, they don't have that dog, that fight in them like that, man. You see what I'm saying? So because that's what a warrior do. A warrior has a warrior mentality. Let's look that up. Let's see. Let's see what we can find here real quick. Warrior. Let's see what comes up for warrior. It says soldier, combatant who wages war. It says, let me see. Let me do it like this. Let's look up what it say on Google. Warrior. Let's do not mindset. Let's do mentality. Let's see what comes up. All right. Warrior mentality. The definition says a warrior mindset is the ability to face challenges head on with courage and determination. It's about being resilient in the face of adversity and never giving up. People with a warrior mindset are fighters. They are constantly moving forward and always striving to be better. And that's how we got to be in this truth. We got to kill the flesh, and we got to decrease so that the Lord can increase. The spirit has to dominate, more spirit, and the flesh has to be dominated, less flesh. See what I'm saying? So when you go back to what Caleb Plant was saying, he was basically saying that he goes 8 weeks, all right, with without any intercourse relations with the woman. Okay, and the guy asked him again, what about, uh what about you know, with yourself? He said no, he don't make no mistakes, meaning he's sharp, he's on point. And that's the point. Because the battle that we're fighting is between spirit and flesh. That's the war. That's the war that we're in. Okay? This is the condition of the battle that we must fight between the flesh and the spirit. See, the difference is we have understanding of what war that the war that we're in. The people, our nation, to the rest of our nation, okay, and even Israel that know they're Israel. You have Israelites that still don't understand what this thing is about or what we're a part of. Okay, but we're at war, believe it or not. Proper how you say it? popular to believe, I don't know how, I forgot how you actually say that phrase, but contrary to popular belief, that's how you say it. So we're at war, man, and the only way we're gonna win is by the Spirit. We're gonna have to have Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI literally shielding us. Okay, that's the difference. Us recognizing that we're in war and doing the things to properly fight in the war, while everybody else is going to be consumed by the war because they didn't properly prepare for the war. Okay, which the only way you can prepare is spiritually, man. So that's the best part about this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Is that the Lord is allowing us to spiritually um prepare. Now let me select it. I'm grabbing something real quick. Down the update is okay, here we go. All right, and it's spiritual. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't remember what the number 8 went into, but he is spiritual, that he basically fasts from intercourse with a woman so that his spirit can be aligned with the fight. It's spiritual that he do it for 8 weeks. All right, because the spiritual number for 8 stands for glory. Okay, and therefore that's why he's 22-1. Therefore, that's why he's glorified. All right, he received his glory by his victories. All right, and that's what we're looking to as men of the Lord. We're aspiring to get that glory. All right, that victory by abstaining from the things of this world, the fleshly things, the pleasures, all right, of this life. That's sex is pleasure, and we are abstaining from the pleasures of this life. And I'm gonna take it a step further. And I did a video on this. I never did a part 2, but the first part I did a video. The first part I did a video on was going into spiritual sensitivity. You see what I'm saying? Spiritual sensitivity. Learning how to know when the Spirit is speaking and you act on it. But one of the main things is giving up things that not necessarily mean you're going off on. By giving up sex, that's not going off, because that's what the Lord created us to do, to multiply. Okay, but when you abstain from these things, you're that much better. You're stronger. You're showing the Lord that you're that more serious about training in the fight that you're currently in, and that much more serious of trying to obtain the victory over that battle, because the ultimate battle is the flesh. But we have battles, you see what I'm saying? We have battles within battles. See, you got to remember, within war there are different battles. That's the point. Again, being willing to sacrifice to overcome that battle, that's the point. That's what we have to focus on, being willing to sacrifice to overcome that battle. The battle within the battles you have in war terms. You might have won the battle, but you didn't win the war, or something along those lines, because there's battles within battles. We have small battles where we battle with ourselves. When you leave the brotherhood, okay, and you go home, you got to face reality within your own bubble. You gotta, oh damn, the thoughts that you played with, the comfort zones. You know, see, I don't even remember the last time I even slept in my own bed. You see what I'm saying? Because I make sure that the elder brother in our camp, or the head of our camp, he always mention uh, voluntary hardship. You know what I'm saying? Like I sleep on the floor sometimes. You know what I'm saying? One cover if it's cold, or different things to keep your mind sharp, man. Because brothers, all of us, most brothers play chess or some type of mind game. The point is that we read, the scriptures. That's why the scriptures say we read daily to keep our mind sharp. Old people, when they're older, one of the main things, and business owners, one of the main things they do is read. You see what I'm saying? So that's what he's about. So what Caleb Plant was saying was spiritual, that he said he did it for 8 weeks, no sex for 8 weeks, because he said most fighters not going 8 weeks. And then on top of that, he's abstaining from the pleasures of life so that he could focus on the battle at hand. And that's what we are here to do. We were to disconnect from the pleasures of life for a moment so that we can focus on the battle at hand, no matter how small or great that battle is. And we know the ultimate battle is this flesh in its totality. That's why Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI was big on the things that he was teaching. Right? Shalom, Yahabashim Shabrakatah, Shalom, Shalom, Amar, Shalom, uh, uh, um, yeah. So let me matter of fact, since I said that, um, because remember he said not by any means he don't mess this up. This is Romans 12 and 1. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. And that's what we are to do. We are to present to the Lord, because this is a part of our offering unto the Lord, the things that we sacrifice. All right, it has to be a righteous and sacrifice. To talk about that in Sirach 35. You know what I'm saying? Talk about the different sacrifices, man. All right, the acceptable adjustments offering is acceptable in so many words, man. Hey, shalom, Yahawah shalom, brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present. Hey, I just saw when I was about to go live, I saw you went live. That's the spirit that we see. That's how in sync brothers be, because the brother GMS finished the mission. All right. The brother Yabakan, he just I saw a notification from you, that said more. I think it said more spirit and less flesh, and that's what I'm going into, because the inspiration comes from this guy here who's a boxer, Caleb Plant, who, like, again, he's 22-1, and his focus, and like the spiritual number 8, which is glory. His focus is to abstain from sex, which majority of the boxers do, but he do it for an extended period of time so that he can really focus on the fight and the battle at hand, which I'm tying into the spirit, which is less flesh and more spirit. You see that? So that's the spirit that you even went into that, bro. But I'm gonna get, Lord willing, I get to check that out. But it says, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. This is what this whole thing is about. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. We got to be renewed by our mind. See, the average person not thinking like that. You see Caleb Plant. He said he said majority of the boxers only go for 4 to 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. But he said, I'm gonna go 8. You see, that's a different mind. And that's how we got to be in this truth, brothers and sisters. We got to have a different mind. That's what the Lord is requiring of us. When Yahawashi come back, he's that mark of exemption, Ezekiel 9 talking about. He's looking for those who have a different mind, different from the world, unplugged out of the matrix. Okay? What gave up righteous offerings and righteous sacrifices, things that are pleasing, because those sacrifices that we give, the Lord smell those, man. They become a sweet savor unto the Lord. Why would you give up a sacrifice or an offering that's terrible, like Cain did? He gave up fruit. He offered up fruit. When you burn fruit, it's a terrible smell. So that's a terrible. That shows you how you think of the Lord, the things that you sacrifice and that you give up. When you go to Matthew 19, Yahawashi was big. He was talking about that. He that give up. Let's just grab that real quick, and then I'm gonna get a couple precepts, then we're gonna close out. Matthew 19 real quick, because the Lord told you what things are considered pleasurable unto man in this life. This Matthew 19, it says the disciples reward, and that's that glory. All right, it says, we're just going straight to the point. 27, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Then Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, right, in the different generations, reincarnations, when the Son of Man, which is Yahweh, shall sit on the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, and every one that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands. That's literally everything that a man possess for my name's sake, for Yahawashi's name, his reputation, for his image, shall receive 100-fold. You're going to receive all those things back 100 times and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and last shall be first. See, the first are the ones that's not willing to sacrifice those things, because you remember when you go up, it was talking about the young man. Okay, matter of fact, let me just get this verse right here. Let me jump up to 21, and I'm gonna get you. I see your precept. It says the water. bro, let's go. Let me get this real quick. Matthew 19:21. Yahawah said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. See, Yahawah said, if thou wilt be perfect, because remember, he asked him, you know what I'm saying, to follow the ways of the Lord. He said, what lack I yet? Follow the law, statutes, and commandments. He said, what lack I yet? But Yahawah said, so showing you that he still wasn't perfect. So he said, if thou will be perfect, go sell that thou hast and follow me. That's the point. But what did he do? He went away sorrowful, all right, because he had great possession. So we got to be willing to detach from society. See what I'm saying? The things we consider pleasurable. And remember, in the beginning, I said I'm gonna take it a step further. What I was talking about was like me. I do spiritual blitz. See what I'm saying? So for a period of time, I would give up things that like I said in the beginning, that's not necessarily, you know what I'm saying, going off, but those are things that, you know what I'm saying, that I attend to bring me balance in my walk. For example, those things would be, one thing would be sex. 3 months without sex. Okay. Drinking wine, being on social media outside of YouTube for teaching, and you know, whatever else you can think of that works for you. You see what I'm saying? Eating healthy, working out for those 3 months. Okay, waking up. If you wake up late, you wake up and make sure that for them 3 months, I'm waking up at 7 a.m. Going to bed on time. See, those are things that are pleasing unto the Lord, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So those things trickle in down into the ministry. Okay, if you're lazy here, at some point in your walk, you're gonna be lazy in the ministry too. You're not reading as much as you're supposed to, and so forth and so forth. You're not giving alms like you're supposed to, or helping out as much as you're supposed to, because you know what I'm saying. So it's gonna trickle in somewhere, and it's gonna leave openings and that you don't, where you don't want it to be. So that's the point, man. Because while we're in a battle, and let me get a preset real quick, and then I'm gonna get a couple presets, and we're gonna close out. Shalom Makim, Yahawah Shem got them again. And everybody tuning in. This is prophesied to the end. Shalom Makim again. Sirach 19:5. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasure crowneth his life. Right, and that's the glory. That crown is the glory. It says, ignore it's lucky for all the pain on my hands. I just got off work. Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned. You see, so and it also tell you that in what's that, brother? If a brother could post it for me, is it Timothy? She that live in pleasure is dead while she living. First Timothy. If a brother could post that for me, First Timothy 5. Because we're likened unto a woman unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying? We're the Lord's one wife. He's the husband, the nation of Israel. Okay, and as what the wife role is to the man, as our role being the Lord's woman is to the Yahawah. Okay, so when you live in pleasure, you're dead. At the water. Yeah, First Timothy 5:6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. You know what I'm saying? So that precept the brother posted before that, prophesied to the end, made me think of this one, First Timothy 5:6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So when you indulge in pleasure all the time, man, eventually, like the scriptures say, where your treasure is, where your heart is, where your treasure is, roughly paraphrasing. So with the things that you constantly meditate on the most, that's what you glorify in. That's what you that's going to be your reward. When you go to Revelation 22, Yahawah say he's coming with your reward, whatever the reward is, whether it's death and destruction or whether it's salvation and peace. You see what I'm saying? You either way, you're going to receive that reward, man. Let's go here real quick. Just real quick. Let's go Ephesians 6. Because remember, we're at war, man. This is a battle. This is a battle, man. Let's go to Ephesians 6:12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darknesses of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, right? The day of judgment, whatever day of judgment that might be, whether it's like on a smaller level, where a car accident or whatever, or to the greater judgment, which is the lake of fire, the day of the Lord, and having done all to stand. That's what it's about. You see, stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you should be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. The only way you can do that is by the things that you sacrifice, the things that you give up, and the pleasures, anything that's considered pleasurable, and you're not willing to give that up for reading. You're not willing to give that up for something in the truth. You might, like, it's been times I remember when Apostle Ricard, when we was in Milwaukee, brother, like he had made mention, like brothers also made mention too, but the apostle was making mention, like and one of the brothers there too, they made mention, like, in agreements with the apostle, like, yo, even if you getting down with the get down with your lady, and a brother call you, man, you supposed to answer your phone, man. When brothers don't answer that phone, that's going off. They got a demon on them, man. You shouldn't look at your phone like making options and making choices. Yo, if the brother's calling you, even if you miss the call, you gotta call him back, man. You see what I'm saying? If he good, you say, all right, I'm gonna holler at you. Then you tend back to what you got going on. You don't ignore the brother to continue that. See, and that's not a good sacrifice. You see, you got to be willing to sacrifice for the sake of the body, because the body is attached to Yahawashi, man. He's the head. The rest of the body is the brothers. They make up that spiritual temple that we're currently building. Those spiritual blocks, all right, and those bricks, those lively stones that Yahawashi is building here, man. When you go to 2 Timothy 3, and we're gonna get like 3 more when we close out, because I want to close with that 2 Maccabees. You see what I'm saying? That 2 Maccabees as an example, of what I mean on how to think, man. This is what happened. Salaki, 2 Timothy 2. What's going on? Like this. 2 Timothy 2. All right, this is 2 Timothy 2. Let's start at verse 3. No man that warreth entangling himself with the affairs of this life. And aren't we at war? That he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. See, the Lord have chosen us to be soldiers. Oh, Salaki, let me start at 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahawashi. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. You see? And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. See, in order to receive that glory, you have to know you're in a fight. Hey, Shalakia, damn, you have to know you're in a fight. That's what the difference is between the brothers that's in the truth and you're not out, and you're out the truth. We recognize the Spirit has given us understanding that we are in a fight. And not only that, the Lord has equipped us. He showed us where the rooms was. Like if you're playing Call of Duty or some type of game, you know, you travel through the room, the building or the house or whatever, and you find ammo laying in the corner somewhere. That's how the Lord, he gave us where to the different locations on where to gain more ammo, the different locations on where to gain more armor. You see? And that's the truth. That's the scriptures. That's the precepts. That's the brothers. That's the brotherhood. That's praying. That's fasting. That's the sacrifices. Those are the different rooms and the different little areas where the Lord had directed us to gain more of, so that we could gain more spirit and less flesh, because we're soldiers. We're in the battlefield. And the war is not over until Yahawashi come redeem us. That's when the war is over on all levels, from the smallest to the greatest. When you go to Romans 7, Romans 7, let's see, hold on. Let's start at 22. For I delight in the law of the Most High after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. So we showing you, I'm showing the spirit had me go here because showing you that we are at war. And any the scriptures say, give me any plague but the plague of the mind. See, we're at war with ourselves. We're at war. So how much more? We're also at war with the world. We're at war with our spouses. We're at war with our children. We're at war all day, every day, man. Why do you think brothers is so goddamn drained? We're constantly fighting all day, man. And how much more? And we keep coming back in our regenerations after every third or fourth generation. We keep coming back. We get more weaker and weaker as the time goes on, as we dwell under the rulership of the Edomite. You see, we're wore out, man. So, brothers, knowing that you're at war, continue to put on your armor and continue to fight, man. Okay, continue you to use this example as this guy here, Caleb Plant. He's sacrificing certain things within his life for the battle. Okay, so say this: you might have a battle, you might be dealing with a lazy demon. All right, I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. So, well, do you continue to just let the demon multiply and get stronger, and he continue to whoop your ass, or do you? All right, well, let me take away something that I like to do in my life. It might be training. I talked to a brother before. He was training more than he was given to the ministry, and the brother realized it through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. So he had to fall back on training. Okay, going to the gym all the time so that he can give more to the spirit. You see, that's a an acceptable sacrifice. That's pleasing to the Lord, man. You know, sacrificing some form of health so that you can gain a spirit, because ultimately we fucked up anyways. See what I'm saying? So that would be like, so it applies to whatever, how it applies to each individual. It might be drinking wine, it might be watching too much TV, or too much folly. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know what I'm saying? So again, sacrificing what makes you great, man. Yes, I think I said that right. Sacrificing what can make you better. Okay, sacrifice. That's how your mindset should be. Sacrificing things that can make you better in the spirit, man. This is 2 Corinthians 10:4. Let me get two more. We close out. 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. And this is what it's about, knowing that our weapons of warfare are not carnal. Why are they not carnal? Because the fight is it starts in the spirit and it manifests itself into the physical. So that by the time it gets to the physical, it has now become a reality. Okay, it has now become real. Okay, because at first it was just a thought. It was just something being accumulated in the spirit, meaning your mind. Okay, and then it came into the physical, which now we're able to cast down those imaginations on how everywhere they dwell, from the spiritual armor that we're being attached with and equipped with, the precepts, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why Isaiah 33:6 is so important, because that's literally going to be able to keep us in that day. Just the knowledge, because the knowledge is what actually trained up our spirits. The knowledge is what actually prepared us for the greater fight at the end, man. The fight always get the hardest when you get closer to the end, man. When you fasted, say you want to fast for 3 days, no water, no food, and then that third day it gets the toughest. Like Apostle Rama just said, well, not he said in he's well he said before, um, the battle gets tougher towards the end, man. You know what I'm saying? And he said, the more you, like, I've been in this truth for 7 years. The more you've been in this truth, brothers, some 8, 9, 10, the apostles 30. You know what I'm saying? Brothers 15 and up. The longer you're in this truth, the harder it gets, because you're more plagued with conversations and, you know what I'm saying, outside things in this world. You're still here catching infirmities, and you getting weaker. Your body getting weaker, not stronger. No matter how much you work out, you still get sick. You know, Man, Romans 8:36, as it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, we are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. We are more than conquerors. So, brother, you can't say, well, no, we can. We can do it. I remember I was telling one of the brothers about, how I do spiritual blitz, was what the spirit gave, and it's literally from the spirit. The spirit of YAHAWASHI literally gave me this. It's not something I came up on my own, and this is how I actually increased in the spirit all those years ago, by these spiritual blitz that I do, that the spirit gave. And I was telling the brother about it before, and his brother was like, "Damn, bro, you gave up sex. I don't know," but he was just kind of like, "I don't know." He's like, he don't know if he could give it up. But hey, bro, the scripture just said we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. You see? Because you got to really be honest with yourself. Do you really know what battle this is? Do you really know what you're a part of? So that therefore I attack it, and okay, no, I'm gonna give it all I got. For I am, because while we're more than conquerors, for I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, because it's all spirits that's on you that's making you say these things and think like this, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of the Most High, which is in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, our Lord, man. And I'm gonna close with the second Maccabees. I ain't want this to be long, but you know how sometimes the spirit is. This is second Maccabees. Let's go straight to the point. What is it? 13. Just a quick example on when you have the proper armor of the Lord on, he will protect you, man. This is second Maccabees 13. Let's go straight down to verse 10. No, let's start at 9. Because I believe this is Antiochus. This is verse 9. Now the king came with a barbarous and haughty mind to do far worse to the Jews, which was us, the Israelites, than had been done in his father's time. Okay. It's talking about Judas Maccabees. Okay. It says, which things Judas perceived when he commanded the multitude to call upon the Lord night and day, pray without ceasing. That's actually in our camp. That's actually for the last 2 days has been in some way, shape, or form dealing with prayer, the verse of the day or the precept of the day. To call upon the Lord a night and day, that if ever at any other time he would now also help them, being at the point to be put from their law, from their country, and from the holy temple. See, that's what Esau's trying to do. He's trying to put us from our ways as far as he can get us. That's what chattel slavery was about. But now he figured out a way that he can get. He figured out a way that he could keep Israel. He's trying to keep Israel in sin forever. See, when Romans 11 is so important, because through the mercies and the graces the Lord have for the elect, that too will fall on the rest of the whole house of Israel, because they're going to be born back through the loins of those individuals who the Lord have mercy for and kept and protected and going to protect in that time. Okay? Because if it was up to Esau, we would have been done away with. He probably wouldn't even need it to come to the realization he needed a tiny technology. He would have killed us off during chattel slavery, and you would have been in Esau's rule now, like in terms of immortality his way. But the Lord didn't have it written like that, because that would mean that the Lord Yahweh himself would have to be moved out the way, and Esau would now be the God, and we know that's not the case, man. So it says that he would not suffer the people that had even now been but a little refreshed to be in subjection to the blasphemous nation, Esau, because Antiochus, or some say Antiochus, was an Edomite. So when they had all done this together and besought the merciful Lord with weeping and fasting, see, this is how they see, because remember in the beginning he said he had commanded the multitude to call upon the Lord night and day, right? So how they actually get the Lord to properly prepare them, all right, was faith, and then they prayed, and right, and but this is how they actually equipped themselves, by weeping, fasting and lying flat upon the ground 3 days long. Oh, they fasted for 3 days. I mentioned that earlier. All right, I forgot it actually said that in here. So that was the spirit. All right, because 3 deals with I think understanding or wisdom. I think wisdom is 1. Yeah. So yeah. I think 3 is understanding. So they understood what was taking place. It says Judas, having exhorted them, commanded they should be in a readiness. All right, being with a ready mind, being all right. They prepared themselves by fasting and praying, laying on the ground, flat on the ground, they face and nose flat on the breadcrumbs from their table. All right, flat to the ground. It says, and Judas being apart with the elders, determined before the king's host shall enter into Judea and get the city to go forth and try that the matter and fight by the help of the Lord. So now the Lord is going to help them fight because they properly equipped themselves with the Lord's armor. That's how you equip yourself properly with the Lord's armor, by praying, fasting. Fasting is a sacrifice. You're giving up food and water. You're depriving the flesh so that the spirit can increase. So that that's the lowest thing you can do is fast in this realm. You see, because that's why YAHWASHI, when he was amongst the disciples, he said, why are you fasting when the Son of Man is with you? The times we were going to move into, like times like now, we were going to have to fast because the YAHWASHI wasn't going to be in the physical realm no more, but his spirit. So when you deprive the flesh, it allows the spirit to actually overtake, and you actually have no choice but to lean on Yahweh Bashim YAHWASHI, because you have nothing else to lean on. You're at your weakest state. All right. So it says, so when he had committed all to the creator of the world, which is Yahweh, YAHWASHI, and exhorted his soldiers to fight manfully. So now they're able to, so you would think like, damn, they fasted for 3 days and now they able to still fight? Yes, because the spirit is what actually activated. If you watch the show Avatar, he might have been getting his ass whooped. Matter of fact, when you watch the last couple episodes, when he had to fight the Fire Lord being a representation of Esau, he had to fight the Fire Lord. He was getting his ass whooped, right? But then the Avatar state kicked in. That's the spirit. It don't matter how whooped we are in the flesh. When the spirit kicks in, because that's every camp. That's every day. When brothers doing their lessons and you go to camp, we getting whooped all day, every day, mentally and physically, to the point that when we get to camp, the Avatar state kicks in. The spirit kicks in, and it drives the whole rest of the rest of the moment camp, and it drives that. It's that driving force. And then as soon as the Avatar state or the spirit leaves us, we come back. We get, what I'm saying, we come back to like that high is off of us, man. So it says, so now, after they fasted, they was actually stronger. So he said he exhorted his soldiers to fight manfully, even unto death for the laws. And this is what we're doing this for. We're fighting for eternity. We're fighting for Yahweh Bashim YAHWASHI, his name, his image, what his image represents, the integrity behind his image and his name, and what he brings, which is life. It says, even unto death for the laws, the temple, the city, the country, and the commonwealth, he camped by modern. And having given the watchword to them that were about him, victory is of Yahweh Bahasham YAHWASHI. And that's what we're looking for victory. With the most valiant and choice young men, the elect of those individuals, he went into the king's tent by night, because Esau got the Black Hawk, he got the special forces. I forgot the order of ranking, but you got the ones that move at the night, you know what I'm saying, like ninjas. You know what I'm saying? That's what the elect is to the Lord. That special task force. See, the Lord sent the elect in the midst of the belly of the beast, which is Esau, his kingdom, his society. He sent the elect in the midst of the belly of the beast, and the elect is moving because Esau is being destroyed inside out. Okay, to the point that now when he recognized who the elect are, he said, then there should be known whom I chosen. By the time the elect are made manifest, it's going to be too late, because now the outward appearance is going to be destroyed in front of everybody, because boom, the elect was inside of the belly of the beast, destroying him within inside out. And that's what you see here in choice young men. He went into the king's tent by night. and slew in the camp about 4,000 men. For meaning what? Uh, a form of mercy, right? But in this case, you know what I'm saying, it was mercy upon us, okay? Which is why the Lord had them slaughter 4,000 men, because this was mercy upon the ones that actually was committing the act, because they took the necessary steps to actually properly train so that they wouldn't be consumed by the incoming army that was going to come into Judea, man. It says, and having given the watchwords, let me just jump down, 4,000 men, and the chiefest of the elephants with all that were upon him. And at last they filled the camp with fear and tumult and departed with good success. And when you go back to Caleb Plant, the reason why he's 2021 with over, I think he got like 13 knockouts, KOs. The reason why he has a record like that and have good success, because he put away his pleasureful moment so that he can focus on, if you will, I don't want to say the spirit, but he focused on, he tapped into the battle. He knew what battle he was facing. He knew what he had to do to overcome the battle, and he had to sacrifice what gave him pleasure, what gave him a sigh of relief in the carnal state. He had to sacrifice that so that he could be great and have good success, all right, and actually gain more. And when it's all said and done for that time frame, man. So that's how we got to do with this truth, brothers and sisters. We got to be willing to, you know what I'm saying, sacrifice for the Lord, all right? Be willing to sacrifice for the Lord and the things that give us pleasure, all right, in this realm. It don't have to be as long as I do it, 3 months. Some brothers do it 6 months. Some brothers might do a month. The point is that you're doing the things that, those are extra things that the Lord loves, man. Those extra things that Jake don't, you don't see all Israel doing that. You don't see all Israel doing those little tedious things that actually please the Lord. Like, remember the Lord compared your faith. He said, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you can remove a mountain. So if you do something that's tedious as something like that, doing it for a week or two just to build up, whatever, however you got to do it, you should be able to, every brother or sister that's following the truth, and every brother that's in the truth, you should be able to quit cold turkey certain things in your life, because we have the Spirit on us. You should be able to quit cold turkey. Why you did it when you came into the truth to certain things, I should say, like smoking. For some brothers, I quit cold turkey. I just smoke weed. I quit cold turkey for the sake of the ministry. Right? You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna say when my mind decided on to do it, I was able to quit cold turkey, because I think I was a year in still smoking, and then the Lord had put the Spirit on me, and I completely stopped. So of course you got to build up to certain things, because certain spirits are heavier than other spirits. But hey, man, I'm gonna just leave it there, man. Just you gotta have that warrior mindset, man. Like the boxer I showed, the Caleb Plant guy, lick him up, man. Or any other boxer, or any other fighter, Bruce Lee, or whatever fighter that actually inspire you, man. They had a warrior mindset. Shit, our forefathers. Shit, what am I talking about? Our forefathers. Romans 15:4. Things are written aforetime are written for our learning, that we through comfort of scriptures might have hope. Our forefathers was warriors. King David. I mean, the list goes on, man. I'm not going to, bro, read the story of our forefathers. They were warriors, man. Okay? But in order to be a warrior, you got to put the things off that make you weak. Shit, watch the movie Dead Presidents. Chris Tucker was trying to get Lorenz Tate to think about his family. He's like, man, I can't think about them. Right now, I don't have a family. I don't have a wife. I don't have children, man. The moment I actually give into that thought, my emotions flare up, and therefore I get weak on the battlefield, man. And therefore I'm consumed, and therefore they also are going to eventually be consumed, because they don't benefit by me being gone. So hey, man, think about the brotherhood. You know, you gotta take care of self so that the brotherhood can benefit. That's what it means in its totality. Really work out thy own salvation with fear and trembling, because when you do that, ultimately those around you win, because the scripture talk about that. Those that may hear you also maybe saved, roughly paraphrasing, save you and your house, as the scripture going to. You can save those that hear, okay? Because those around you, by you doing the things you need to do, those around you also benefit as well, man. The brothers, your wife, your household, you know. So hey, man. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I didn't mean for it to go this long, but it is what it is. I want to give all honor and glory, infinite praise and worship to HAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Again, they double honors to Apostle, our elders, a great millstone. who will teach you on sound doctrine, strong shalom, again to the hopeful elect, and the rest of the large multitude of men and children, that the Lord will have mercy on these last days. Amen. Through water for the precepts, brothers, and water for everybody that tuned in today, man. Hey, we almost home. Hey, keep fighting, man. I did a testimony earlier about how I felt the spirit literally leave off me, and it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Go and check that quick 11-minute testimony out. You know what I'm saying? But hey, keep fighting, man. Keep fighting. As we get closer, Lord willing, if you're doing what you need to do, including myself, we'll keep feeling more spirits leave us, more getting lighter on our toes, to the point that we so light that we just float into the chariot. So Lord willing is edifying. Hey, Mawap Baba Ball, till next time. Hey, Shalom. DTA soon. Shalom.